Property Patriot, you are cleared hot.
Welcome to the Aim High Podcast. I'm your host, Bud Evans, and today we're joined by Anthony and Viola Smith of Anvio Realty. From a single vacation home purchased during the 2010 market crash to owning 31 townhomes and condos, their journey epitomizes strategic growth, resilience, and smart investing. Key takeaways from this episode: the power of long-distance investing, leveraging extra income for property investments, and finally, the advantages of focusing on townhomes and condos instead of single-family homes. Join us for insights on building a robust portfolio, where we provide real estate investors with the tools to achieve generational wealth. This is the Aim High Podcast, episode 62. Good day, High Flyer, and welcome to the Aim High Podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined by Anthony and Viola Smith.
Hello.
Guys, it is so good to have you here. The book, the rentals, all your Tennessee, you're on the beach, you're in the mountains, you're everywhere. So, give me an introduction, please.
Yes. Bud, we're Anthony and Viola Smith, as you said, and we're a husband and wife real estate investing team, and we own Anvio Realty. And Anvio Realty owns 31 townhomes and condos in North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, and Tennessee. And we enjoy being investors in those four areas and beyond. We like long distance investing. That's what's unique about us.
Mm-hmm. And we started in 2010 when the market crashed, right? And I was a stay-at-home mom with my daughter, my wonderful daughter, our daughter, yeah. And I went back to work. And so we said, he was paying all the bills. And so when I went back to work, we said, let's not spend your paycheck. Let's not bling. Let's invest this money, right? And so it was his idea. He said, let's buy a vacation home in Kissimmee. And I was like, no, I wasn't for it, because it was like, oh my gosh, you're scared because it's so much money. And the market had crashed. So he did all the work. He worked with, he found the bank. He got a pre-qual letter. He did it all. And I was just sitting there just shaking. And we were in the deal, and he said, let's go to Kissimmee, Florida. So we drove from Dallas, Texas to Kissimmee, Florida. And it was in 2010, and the market had crashed. So he had found a beautiful townhome that had sold for $200,000, and it was on sale for $73,000. And so we found it, to make a long story short. So we found it, we loved it. But we were in there and we were getting an inspection, and he said, we're not going to be here. So what do? We need to get somebody to manage this thing. So we went to a property manager, and the property manager said, why don't you rent it out? And we were like, huh? And then she said, oh, well, why don't you rent it? Because it was so much the mindset. So he said, rent it out and give us your bank account, and we'll just send you the funds and we'll manage it. So it rented like in 3 weeks. And when we got the first check, and it had covered all of our bills, because you say, oh, you could have rent a property, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't hit home until the money hits the bank. And when it was only $200 left over, but it was like free money. Yeah. Somebody had paid my mortgage, paid my taxes, paid my insurance. It was the best. And when it hit the bank, we said, let's do this again. And so then we went to Jacksonville, Florida, and bought 3. And then we just kept buying, and we would just save all our money. Everything we made with our W-2, we would just save the money, and we would find ways to save money, just any kind of way. Cut cable, don't buy this, don't buy that. And we really were, because we were just trying to hurry up and grow. Yeah. And we had originally planned to do 7 homes, and then we just kept growing. We just kept saying, what else are we going to do with this money? So we made a lot of sacrifices, but it's been wonderful. And so we were able to do it with no partners, and it changed the trajectory. It made us multimillionaires, right? So it changed the trajectory of our future, and we love it. And so right now we try to teach other people, because other people are so scared to do it. Yeah. And it changes it's wonderful.
Right. But we found that we like townhomes and condos. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much what we stick to, is townhomes and condos only. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let me go down that rabbit hole here, because here's the thing that everyone says: you can't do townhomes and condos because a lot of them have HOAs.
Uh-huh. We love them.
So We found
We
that
like
we
it.
love townhome condos for that reason. We
Mhm.
like HOAs and the fact that they are an extra set of eyes on not only the individual unit that we buy, but also the community as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's the HOA fee. Nothing's free in real estate. So you're going to have these extra set of eyes that's watching over the property, maintaining the resale value, maintaining the community value, and making sure everyone behaves properly in a multifamily environment. And that's what we like about it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so when we buy these townhome condos, we go in with the idea of not doing heavy renovations. We pretty much stick to new paint, new flooring, new appliances, new AC units, and that's worked very well for us.
And being long distance, the condos and the townhomes, you have two sets of eyes because you have your property manager that's watching the inside and the HOA that's watching the outside. And if you have a good HOA, they're priceless. Yes, they do take out of your money, but then, okay, so for example, we had one HOA and we needed a new roof. Okay, I didn't have to call the roofer. I didn't have to take any bids. I don't have to supervise the roof being done. I don't have to do any of that. And that's a lot of time, especially when you already work a job.
Mhm.
So they put a new roof on there. We even had one HOA where the builder he didn't do a good job building the community, right? They took him to court. It took 3 or 4 years. And the HOA, they went to court, and my HOA was like maybe $250 a month. And they went to court. They won this like landslide settlement. So all the windows and it was stucco in Jacksonville, and now they're like siding, and they're replacing the roof, the windows, the siding. They're doing all of that with the construction. They want a lot of money, and so I didn't have to do any of that. You can get a bad HOA, but it's a condo, it's a townhome, right? So like an exit strategy, just sell it.
Right.
You can sell it.
So, right now, here's the thing. Now, it's all right. So I was going to go down one path. I'm going to go down a different path. So you went from Kissimmee, right, to Jacksonville.
Yes.
Right.
How'd you wind up in Tennessee?
Yes. And that was his idea again. Because I was like, Tennessee, there's nothing there. And he was like, no, you have the balls.
Yeah. So that's a good question. Like you said, we started out in Florida, and then our mindset was to go to these areas that either offer a vacation destination or a major university or heavy government employment, because that tends to stabilize your economy in that area. And a university is both a university as well as government employment. And I came up with this idea of University of Tennessee and introduced it to Viola, and she's absolutely right. She was like, why? But it was at the end of the day, it was just a God-inspired idea. And we have really enjoyed
I love
our
balls.
portfolio in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So in all fairness, the reason I'm asking, I had a feeling it was Knoxville. I did some time at McGee Tyson Air Force, where it's the National Guard base down there, National Guard base.
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
Thank you. And when I was down there, that area was like, this kid's, we're not in Nashville, we're in Knoxville. Right? And now it's, oh my God, you're buying in Knoxville? Let's go. Let's get 5. Let's get 10.
Yeah.
So great that you're down there. And now, are you working that student housing niche, or how are you working that area?
You know, we rented to students one time, and that was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We never had to rent to students.
Okay.
We bought condos and townhomes, and it just never happened. And my property manager in Knoxville, by the way, does not like to rent to students, coincidentally. But we have 12 properties in Columbia, South Carolina. Never rented to students.
Yeah.
And that's why we bought in Columbia as well, because of the University of South Carolina.
Right. And to elaborate on that too, we didn't set out to say we'll never rent to students. It's just that we wind up with a tenant pool of professional adults and small families that apply to rent our units with our managers, and they usually qualify them, find that they're quality tenants, and move in. So that's how we wind up in the university areas without renting to students. It just kind of worked out that way.
But as another plus to the condos and townhomes, when you are getting your insurance, the insurance is cheaper.
Yeah.
because you only need an HO6 policy because you're only insuring the walls in.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm
And
living
so-
in one now, guys. I'm living in my own townhouse now because I had this big house and it was the roof and the lawn and I was too busy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And you don't have to maintain all of that stuff. And then we just really like it. They appreciate it as much as a regular home. And the rents are not much different. And you look at these huge, big investors, they have these huge apartment buildings. Well, what are those? Those are
Multifamily environment.
multifamily environment. And another thing I like about the townhomes and condos, this is nothing negative, but you don't get a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
With a single family home, you can invite your cousin family, your nephew family, and that's okay. But then with you have more supervision when there's a condo and townhome because you don't want anybody tearing up your place that's above your security deposit.
Yeah.
That's realistic.
Yeah.
And so that's why we also like it. It's more of a controlled environment. People know what's going on because the walls are connected and the community is closer.
Absolutely.
So you have more eyes watching your stuff.
Okay.
So that's why we like it. Single family homes are great. It's just not been our niche.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's great. You have a property manager who's filling out if your HOA has annual paperwork that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking care of that for you. If your cash flow, you always make the money at the front end anyway. So if you're figuring your HOA into the overall cash flow, you're still making your fund. Now, do you have a specific model? Like, so what's your buy box?
Okay. So that's a good question. So again, townhome and condos. And what we typically look for is those townhome and condos that are in good school districts that will offer us a profit, but at the same time, rent that's achievable by middle class.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it means, middle
We
class.
found that to be the sweet spot.
Mhm.
Townhomes and condos that are affordable to the middle class. That way, you are positioned in your market such that if there is a downturn in the economy, your tenants will still be able to access your units and afford them well with middle class jobs without depending on a superstar corporation to move to that area and pay enormous salaries so that they could afford the properties.
That is so true. That's so
And
true.
as we all know, sometimes those, superstar employers are supposed to move in and then they
Yeah.
don't. So
Yeah,
you wind up,
absolutely. So,
So, yeah.
we try to stay middle class and we try to offer those units in good school districts.
Mhm. Mhm. And another thing about condos and townhomes is that when you have to do make ready, it's cheaper.
Absolutely.
It's cheaper because the square footage is cheaper. You can buy the cheaper appliances and
Yeah.
everything, and they don't expect as much as someone with a single family home.
Yeah.
And we like it. We really like it. And because, and of course, we had the perfect textbook deal because we were able to buy when the market was low. We were buying because properties are listed in classes, right? Class A, Class B, Class C. And we were able to buy Class A properties at Class D prices.
Yeah.
And then you were getting top market rent.
That's right.
So like our rate of return was like 15% or so. And that's including the 10% HOA fee, that's 10% a property management fee. And then the fee, that includes the fee that they charge to place a tenant, the fee that they charge, because property management, a lot of time they charge 10%, but they charge extra to place a tenant. They charge extra to, if there's a repair, they charge extra to be there with the repairman and to schedule the repairman. And we're getting like 15% ROI, which is outrageous. It's a blessing. And the property is increasing in value to boot. So cash on cash ROI. That's not the internal rate of return and all of that. But we tell people, we've met with a lot of people. People ask us to meet with them and talk about, how did you do it? Where did you find your locations and all of that? Well, we always tell them we did a lot of praying. My gosh, because there's a lot of work. We did a lot of praying, and we would do a lot of searching, and everything we always use free apps because we're cheap. So we always use the free apps, and we tell them the thing we noticed is that a lot of people are afraid to invest. They're scared because there's so much money, and we say you can set it and forget it and go somewhere else, or you can know where your money's going. That takes a little bit more work. You know what's going on with your money. You understand. And so we found out that's why we did the book. We did the book because so many people are afraid. So we did the okay. So let me advertise the book. Hold on.
Yeah, show the book, please. And listen, I want to go right into this because I'm just going to say this. Usually somebody writes a book and it's about how to buy a rental property, how to borrow a rental property, how to buy a mobile home. You guys went with, this is how you teach your family, how to generate wealth for generations.
You got it. You got it. We tried to do a very simplistic workbook. And that's why and our daughter wrote it with us, our wonderful daughter, Victoria. She wrote the book with us. And what we tried to do was answer the questions everybody always asked us. And we tell them, because if you tell somebody, oh, you need to buy 20 properties, they're like, it blows their brain, right? Because if they've got a consumer mindset, first they got to change their mindset to be investor. And then you tell them to buy 20 properties. That's quite a feat. Right. And so we like to tell you, so we wrote the book, The Word, the Work, and the Wealth. And our family's got to wealth in real estate, and it's sold on Amazon. It's only $20. It's cheap. And but what we tried to do, we forgot
my favorite part of the title, Viola. Cha-ching.
Ching. Ching. Oh yeah, the ching. And go ahead.
But I think and unlike a lot of the books, I think we tried to go a step further in the fact that we did teach on some of the key indicators when evaluating potential rental properties. So not only did we identify some markets, but also the key indicators that brand new investors should consider when they're looking at area. So
I'll applaud that one because nobody teaches how to look for the appropriate market. Nobody teaches,
that's right,
demographics, why you should go with a B or C area versus an A area or a D area.
Right.
Rising crime rates. Nobody talks about that stuff. So
nobody talks about it. Yeah. And we kept getting questions. And we have in the book, we said, oh, this is boring, but this is going to be so good for somebody that wants to invest. We have stats for different cities. They learn, they know the median income, the rental homes, what's percentage of occupancy, and they can go to the different websites. And our daughter helped us with that. And we start the book off with the investor versus consumer mindset, because you got to get your mind right.
Yeah.
You got to get your mind right so that you'll know what's important. So while everybody's buying that, you're focusing on buying your investment property.
Yeah.
And one thing in the book, we tell them, even if you just buy one property, in addition to your, primary, and we like to give in the book, we give Smitty tips. We call them Smitty tips, so that they can, because we had no mentor, and we want to teach people what we didn't know, right? For example, when we were buying a house, I know that we would go to the title company. I didn't pay attention to what the title company did. What's an inspector? Whatever, just do the job so I can get the house. That's what I'm thinking. But now, as an investor, I know what they do. I know what underwriting does. And I want to teach it to everyone else and teach you how you really do make money. And this is like a money maker. It's a wealth building machine.
Right. You pass on from generation to generation.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely. My wife and I were talking about Christmas presents, and I was just sitting there going, and I promise there's a point to this, because I'm sitting there going, she's like, maybe you should we can get you a suit. I'm like, why don't you just get me a blanket and save the money on the suit and let me put that towards another house?
You know what? It almost becomes addicting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, I did get my son to buy a 2-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath townhouse in Palmyra, New Jersey, right down the street, with the intention of saving their money and then moving into their forever home. And I got him thinking, Dad, I want at least 5 rental properties to pay for my mortgage.
See, what a blessing. Very good. Very good.
That's a win.
That's a win. That's why people, even if you just buy one property, in addition to your regular home, you have a piggy bank.
Yeah.
You have a piggy bank in your retirement. You can cash out refi. You can sell it. You can rent it. And when you're talking about a piece of property, you're not talking about a little bit of money. That's a lot of money. 100,000 plus is a lot of money. 200,000, and so that's a piggy bank that someone can have. It's worth the sacrifice, in my opinion. It's very much worth the sacrifice.
I fully agree. My wife laughs at me because I'm retired military, and and I have the police pension too, because I did 13 years as a cop. And my wife will tell you that I work harder in my office now for myself than I would ever work for anybody else. Like, I thought I was hard back then. You're running, you're doing working out, and you're going in, you're doing your 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. That's easy. W-2s are easy. It's actually doing what you guys are doing, buying your properties, sourcing the deals. Not only that, once you hit a certain point, reaching out and teaching other people exactly how you did it, because we all understand that it's about collaboration over competition.
Absolutely.
And like he always says that the limitations, he always say
it's about that mindset. And like you said, teamwork makes the dream work. And Viola and I discovered that as we were building through the years and building, we discovered if you stick up for your limitations, you'll always have them.
Yep.
Yeah, and we love it. We were able to do it with our W-2s. And now you will get to the point where you can buy more stuff if you want to. If you want to bling, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that handle business first.
That's right.
Yeah. It's like Robert Kiyosaki's Porsche in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You want that fancy car that you've always dreamt of? No problem. Buy enough houses to make the payment.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. And we love it. God blessed us to just stumble into it. And it's been the best. Investing is way more than impressing to us.
Yes.
It's much more fun.
Yeah.
It's much more fun.
I don't remember who said this, but it might have been George Carlin who said, "You're buying stuff to impress people that you don't even like." So it's dressed to impress. I don't know, man. I'm wearing a t-shirt and a pair of joggers and slides right now.
That's right.
My office with my dog.
Yeah.
That's it. I'll sit here until 9:00 tonight on doing this, on Zoom calls, on StreamYard, recording podcasts, making deals, and running a property management company. It's all good.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And it's so profitable. We're just stunned. We say, dang, we wish we could have started this like as teenagers.
Yeah.
Get into real estate, because it really is. It should be taught in school.
And listen, I get to sit here and talk to guys like you all day.
Nice.
Right? That's not a bad thing. Look, I don't care how many tens of people are listening to my podcast. The bottom line is, hey, I'm having a great time. I'm meeting great people, and you guys are fantastic. So
thank you.
I will tell you, before we go into the Final Four, there's always one question that I ask.
Okay.
As your wealth increased, what you learned?
As the wealth increased, I can chime in on that one. As the wealth increased, what we realized is it's really hard to beat real estate when it comes to building wealth and passing it on from generation to generation. And another thing we learned is many people, when it comes to success, they want to ride the elevator and get there fast, but you have to be willing to take the stairs.
Yeah.
This is not a get rich quick scheme, but it is very much so worthwhile, and it really will build generational wealth, present day and generational wealth, not shadow wealth where you're impressing with the fancy trinkets and fancy cars and things like that. Nothing wrong with those things. But if you're using those to pretend that you're somewhere financially that you are not, you will find that will disappoint down the road. There's nothing like real estate to build real wealth through the years.
That's so true.
You nailed it. Hey, have you guys ever read The Millionaire Next Door?
You know what? A friend of ours told us we were millionaires next door. I'm gonna have to read that book.
Yeah, you guys listen. I do it myself. I have a used car. It's 7 years old. I bought it as a lease turn in. It's an Audi. It's a nice A6, but it's not top of the line 2023 A6 that I trade in every 2 years. I buy it. I keep it for a long time. My wife's driving a 2015 A3, a little cute car, a little sports car to tool around in. Don't spend a lot of money on clothes. I got a couple of things that I like to do that I do, but yeah, guys, you're not flashy. But here you are. You're cha-ching, cha-ching.
But
right?
but you're a millionaire.
Exactly.
So your net worth is flashy. And you know what? I have a Lexus, what is it, 400? It graduates high school in May.
Yeah.
It's 18 years old. We wear that car out.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you just enjoy it. You can go out and buy a car cash.
Right.
Spend $50,000 on a car cash, but why?
Yeah.
Use it on a house or do something else with it.
My wife said to me, Travis Kelce has a Rolls Royce. I said, okay, I hope he's investing.
And coincidentally, in the book, we mentioned the stats of professional people that end up broke. Not that Kelce will, I'm not saying that. But we mentioned the stats that in chapter 1, that, it's the mindset. Most, and it's statistical, most professional athletes end up broke. They don't stop spending.
Chris Carter started a mentorship program with the NFL just to combat that stuff back in the day because he found himself on drugs and broke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Buddy Ryan traded him from the Philadelphia Eagles out to Minnesota because he was going to kill himself.
Yeah. There's always something to buy. Always. Yeah. There's always something to up your purchase.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Here we go. We're going to go into the soaring 4. These are the same 4 questions I ask every guest who might be able to help a new investor achieve new heights.
All right.
So, question number 1. Hang on one second. I'm sorry. I got it. You know what? You ask the same question over and over again, and all of a sudden it's, wait a second, I just drew a blank. All right. The question number 1 is, what do you use to keep you motivated?
That's a pretty simple one for us. We use the success stories of others. We really enjoy getting online, researching those.
Watching your podcast.
Yes, exactly. Researching those that we know are in the business and hearing how they're negotiating the good times in the economy as well as the bad times and where they wind up when they make significant changes. And that keeps us motivated.
And then our net worth. So when you go, oh my gosh, we made money.
It's working.
I'm not going to tell you his name, but I had a very good friend of mine. We were at a baseball game and he looked at me and he had just paid off his last rental property. And he's sitting there. This dude's cash flowing $86,000 a month, just sitting there.
Wow.
And he goes, hey, bud, do you know what to do with this? And he showed me his TD Ameritrade account and it had $1 million in cash. Right.
Yeah. And
that is something like you want to take your kid, and we sat in the nosebleeds.
Wow. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We own like 16 of them cash out. And so we own them full 100%. And so we're working to get debt free as well. Leverage is good, but we're working to get debt free.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect.
Have the portfolio
paid off.
Paid cash. Yes.
All right. Question number 2 is, what is one thing that you learned that completely changed your mindset?
I got to tell you this. And Vi's always saying this around the house. It's better to invest than impress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that. I'm stealing that. I'm just letting you know. You guys are going to check me out on Facebook in a little bit, and that's going to be like the post for the day for me.
What do people? I did the quote. What do people have more fun investing than impressing?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. It is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
Great. You bought a suit. Congratulations. You bought a brand new car. Are you happy in here? Probably not.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Question number 3. What is a tool that you use to keep you on track?
Excel. He forecasts all the time. We don't go by projections or guesses or anything. When I'm going to get a loan, I can tell the mortgage company what my mortgage is going to be. We always go with actual numbers.
Yeah.
We don't guess.
A lot of forecasting.
We don't do any project. We project for the future, but we don't do any guessing when it comes to a specific property. We know what it's going to cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we use Excel a lot.
Yes.
We budget.
Yes.
All the time.
I love that. I'm sitting here looking at right behind you, right behind the app that we're using right now is my 2024 pro forma. I'm already planning for the 3% increase in taxes for next year, seeing how much I'm going to have to raise my rents and whatnot. That's good stuff.
Excellent.
All right. And then the last question, number 4, is what is one thing that you'd change if you had to start all over?
I started age 5.
Much earlier.
I'm glad I got to start in the crash, but I would start even earlier. It's just real estate is just dynamite, and it's so fun to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful. You know what's going on with your money. I love it.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Great. Listen, everybody says, I wish I would have started earlier. Hey, you guys, it was the trifecta. You guys started at a great time. Were able to use the discounts that were not handed to you, but the discounts that were available at the time, and then did the market research and found places to invest that immediately had great cash returns. Outstanding.
We're so on board and so grateful, and we just thank the Lord because it's just been wonderful. It's just been really boggling to us, mind-boggling. It's been wonderful. And then we had the appreciation that just happened like a year ago that just prices, appreciation went through the roof. Yeah. It's wonderful. Yeah. We're very grateful, and we like to help other people.
Very thankful.
Magic money, appreciation and depreciation. I went this way, my taxes went that way. I don't know.
Wonderful. Yeah, dynamite.
Guys, I am blessed just to sit here and have a great conversation with you guys. It is fantastic. Being able to do this in my own office, it's a spare bedroom, by the way, in my own office and hang out with you guys for a little while. Thank you very much. Guys, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, and I'm going to put the link to your page and the link to your book in the show notes. If somebody wanted to reach out to you directly, how would they do that?
Best way to reach out to us directly is at this website, email address, info@nvorealty.com. info@nvorealty.com.
Great.
And it's got a phone number on the website.
Absolutely.
That's what that's when you send us a message on that website, it'll go to that email.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you very much for your time. Guys, I know are you busy? Are you like, right? You guys are jumping the hoops. I get it. That's the way I feel too sometimes. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for being on today.
Here.
And I will look forward to talking to you real soon.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for being a part of the Aim High community. Your support drives us to create valuable content, and we can't wait to see your success stories in real estate investing. Till next time, aim high, never stop learning. Bud Evans signing off. We'll see you soon.